welcome back to the Digital Daily Show. We are in Antigua and Barbuda, this beautiful island. And of course, we're finally together, Mel. Good to see you.
I know, it's always good to team up, Ebs.
So coming up on the show, lots for you. First of all, we're going to be previewing the semi-finals, lots of action there.
Look, the West Indies, it's their home tournament. You don't need much inspiration, but if you're going to go to someone, go to the man himself, the master blaster, Viv Richards. He caught up with the West Indies team.
And finally, let's take a look at this beautiful island.
Welcome to Antigua.
Okay, the first semi-final is West Indies taking on Australia. West Indies, of course, the hosts, and for Australia, they missed out in the 2016 final. They'll be desperate to try and wrestle back the trophy. Let's look at how they got there.
Ball. Chops on. Deandra Dottin, she takes her 5th wicket.
That'll be 54, Hayley Matthews, second fastest.
Got it! Captain Stefani Taylor taking it into her own hands.
Garcia Knight finishes it with a boundary, and the West Indies top the group and will play against Australia in the semi-final.
Huge moment here, big scenes.
Goes high, goes big.
It's another boundary.
This is good batting by Australia.
It's a half-century for Alicia Healy. That's her 6th in 8 innings in T20 international cricket.
He can shoot, does all the simple things right. Oh, what a catch! Molyneux picks up her 2nd, and Australia have qualified for the World T20 semi-finals.
So Mel, you've been over in Guyana, you've watched a lot of Australia. First question really, how have they got in this tournament? What are their strengths that are standing out?
Yeah, look, they've been impressive in the lead up to the tournament to begin with. I think they're certainly looking at trying to dominate the power play with the bat, and they've done that with Alicia Healy at the top of the order. Unfortunately, still a little bit of a cloud over whether or not she can play. And they've just carried on that momentum through the middle order, and they've got depth in batting. Came undone though when they played India the other day, and a little change in the bowling and a few different players coming in, so probably just a little bit of questions I think around number 1 team selection, number 2 batting order as well. So for me at the moment, they're a good unit, they're a well balanced side. They just need to make sure that they're looking at making sure their roles are completed when the pressure is put on. That's the key.
And don't forget, this is a retake of the 2016 finals where they actually lost. Do you think they've taken any learnings from them there to help them get through this tournament?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that's one of the big things about big tournament play, isn't it? Particularly when you don't go through and win it. I think they got a little bit surprised by the West Indies back in 2016. I mean, the celebrations there were probably one of the highlights, I think, over the last couple of years as well. They certainly have, but at the same point in time, it was probably a couple of little moments against India that probably just put their hand up and said, hang on a minute, have they actually learned? So that'll be the big question. West Indies, though, have you been impressed?
Yeah, I have. I think, do you know what, the first thing that I'm taken away by West Indies is the crowds have been electric. There's been big numbers, a lot of atmosphere going on. That could throw a lot of teams, but actually the West Indies are good at lifting to the occasion. They love to entertain. I think the more raucous the crowd is, the more they get carried away and really enjoying it. And I think that takes a special type of team to be able to handle that pressure. So I think they've shown that being at home is giving them a good advantage. When it comes to their actual cricket, I think without doubt in our group, they've been the best fielders. They are fast across the ground. Their movement is incredible. It helps them get to those extra catches, those run-outs, especially someone like Deandra Dottin in the inner ring. So that's been good. And then you talked about power. Australia have a top powerful lineup, but so does the West Indies. And we saw Campbell coming in the last game. She hit a 6 down the ground, and it makes you think it's not just Stefani Taylor, it's not just Deandra Dottin. They have power 1 to 6, really. So I think overall that is what's working for them. Mel, I'm going to put you on the spot. Your prediction for the game, who's going to win?
I think it's going to be a great game, first and foremost. I think just having a little bit more experience in big matches, even though they haven't come through over the last couple of tournaments, I think Australia will just pick the West Indies.
Do you? Okay, I have to be honest, I think the West Indies, and I think it's because of the crowd, the occasion, and the way that they've been playing and winning games when they're actually backs against the walls. And I think that home crowd is going to give them that lift. Well, we talked lots about the West Indies being fired up. One man you mentioned earlier, Viv Richards, has turned up to give them a little bit of inspiration.
I've just enjoyed maybe the camaraderie that I've seen. Some wonderful cricket, more so than anything else, which I think would have excited some of the fans that I would have seen, especially the crowd I saw in St. Lucia last time out. It's great to see that we can still pack stands and put a lot of bums on seats. What I know for sure, the team has been playing collectively well, and they've done well to this particular point. You never know, the individuals may come to the party in the semi-finals and hopefully the finals. For it to happen on our beautiful island, it's hats off to them. You know, everyone I think have chipped in to make this very special, and I think we're getting a little bit of the Caribbean spice, which I think is really correct and true. They're in a very good place to win it. When you are in the semi-finals, it's always a good place because there's only one step away from where you'd like to be. So I think they're in a very good place for them to accomplish what they would have accomplished before.
Top of Pool B was India. They went through undefeated. For England, they finished in second position in Pool A. These two teams know each other very well. Here's their journey to the semi-final. In Georgetown, Guyana, for match number 1, it is New Zealand versus India, all ready to kickstart the 2018 World T20.
She's really caught hold of this.
Goes straight. What a shot.
Harmanpreet Kaur has risen to the occasion, comes back for a comfortable 2 and completes the 3-figure mark. Her teammates stand and applaud the moment.
Lovely shot this, and it's gone all the way.
Mitali Raj goes on to just another 50 for her.
Smriti Mandhana, big player, big match player. Straight to the fielder.
That's another one gone.
The debutants in the action, Gordon.
And your Shrubsole back to bowl at the death. Good ball, and there you go, you beauty and your Shrubsole. What a day Nat Siver's having. She has 3 for 4 now.
I'd be very surprised if you said England wasn't going to win this.
Yeah, I think they've got a good chance. And I think a lot of reasons is actually their ability to win global tournaments. You know, last year they're winning the 50 overs and they've got kind of a pedigree in this format over the last decade. So that, for me, gives me the belief that they will cross that line. And what about you, Mel?
As usual, won't agree with you. I think India have shown in Pool B that they've just stepped up a notch, and there's a belief in the team at the moment that is outstanding, and a lot of that belief is because of Harmanpreet Kaur, both with the bat and her leadership, and that's one of the reasons why she's in the top 5 of the ICC Dream 11. One of the world's best all-rounders is topping the list, Deandra Dotton, Europe Pool A. How impressive was she?
Yeah, she's been outstanding. She came out of the blocks taking 5 for 5. She's also the leading wicket taker. She's been chipping in with some outstanding sixes and lots of runs. So no doubt she is the best all-rounder so far. And you've been in Group B.
Yep.
And you've seen Harmanpreet Kaur. How's she been?
Just impressive right from the get-go with the first ever century for an Indian player in World T20. Then, followed on from that straight away, is another pretty impressive player with gloves and bat in Alyssa Healy.
And back in Group A, Stephanie Taylor, captain of the West Indies, has been leading from the front. She's been economical with the ball. She scored 70 runs as well. She's a complete match winner on her day.
Susie Bates passed 3,000 T20 runs in this tournament. Wonderful average of 40. Was great at the top of the order. Took some pretty handy catches in the outfield as well.
Great that we've got out of the group. I think you know, early on we were happy to just get some cricket in with the weather, and it's one of those where we've kind of probably not played our best game quite yet, so it's really exciting knowing we've got that ahead of us, hopefully going into a semi-final. There's enough players of high class in that top order that you know, someone's got to get a score eventually, so let's hope it's Thursday. I think India are a much improved team and they've got quite a lot of threats, but you know, we'll be confident going into that on Thursday that you know, we can take them on and go toe-to-toe and hopefully come out on top. The form of sort of Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana is quite important, so they'll be quite key wickets, I think. And also their bowling attack's quite well suited to the pitches out here, and they seem quite well drilled in what they're doing. So yeah, we're working very hard to kind of counteract that in the next couple of days. India are definitely trying to put a target on our back and prove a bit of a point from sort of last year, but T20 is a very different game and it only takes one player to grab it by the horns and bring it home. I think our bowling attack's been exceptional every game so far, particularly Anya Shrubsole and Nat Siver up front, so it's just a case of getting a good score on the board or chasing anything down with some confidence in that batting lineup. The support here has been absolutely exceptional, and I think yeah, when West Indies are involved, I think it's going to be an amazing crowd on Thursday. I think the semi-finals are always quite difficult, and our main focus is India, and then you know, we've got a day to turn it around and look at whoever we've got, whether it's Australia or West Indies.
West Indies have created so many male and female super players, yet they've never won a world title at home. I'm thinking maybe they just need a little extra support.
I think they do, Mel. And the good news, hot off the press, is that the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda has given a half day off to all government employees, and he's encouraging everybody else to do the same. So whether you're watching in the communities or you're getting live to the ground, this is going to be a fantastic event. Be there.
Started with 10, we're now down to 4, only days away from finding out which two teams will be playing off in the World T20 final on Saturday.
It's going to be an amazing day, and don't forget you can watch wherever you are. It's global, it's being broadcast everywhere, and also it's on social media, so make sure you get involved. And
well, you're going to want to watch this.
Watch this.